All right, I welcome every one of you to yet another session on the PAIDEIA. And today we have two persons that I have incredible likeness for, two admirable young men who have been part of my life recently in Massachusetts. So I have Jude Ayua. He's a student at Harvard University, and Emmanuel Iyere, a student at Suffolk University here in Boston. The third person is unavoidably absent. That's Chioma Njoku, but she promises to be on the session some other time. So this session is intended for questions and also answers. Feel free to ask questions about whatever intrigues you, whatever seems like a puzzle to you with respect to applications, admissions, scholarships, visa, travel, health insurance, accommodation. As an international student, having to go through all of these processes. So these friends of ours have gone through these processes. They are settled. Emmanuel is finishing studies in a few days, a few weeks. So this is his last semester. So they have gone through all of these processes, and myself as well. So we will take questions. Please feel free. It's an open session. There is no formality about how the proceedings should be. It's very open. So feel free, ask your questions, and we will listen in and try to give answers. We may not have the best of answers, but somehow our answers and responses will provide you with some guidance, and you have an idea of what it is that lies ahead of you. So thank you, and once again, welcome. You can unmute if you need to. All right, so Emmanuel is here. Let me. Emmanuel, you're welcome. You can unmute. Yeah, good.
Oh, right.
I'm trying to bring you up on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, so where is Ayua? I can't find him on the screen right now. Ayua, are you still here, sir?
Yes, I'm here. If you find me, you could easily ping.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I want to pin you on the screen.
Okay. You may have to meet everybody again.
Yeah, I just keep muting them. The two of you on the screen, please unmute. I'm sorry. Actually, the muting process mutes everybody. All right, so we have these gentlemen with us to have interactions with. These guys are based in Massachusetts. And by the way, by next week or two, we're going to have someone from the UK, and that person will represent perspectives and share her experiences about the UK. Okay, so pardon us to talk more about the US a little bit more than in terms of balancing the various countries in the world. All right, so let's open the floor. Do you guys want to just say a word by way of introducing yourselves? Something, I mean, so that we can break the ice, and you are the speakers, basically. So thank you and welcome. Emmanuel, I did introduction earlier, just before you got in.
Okay. All right. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I would like to apologize for actually joining a little bit late. Yeah. It's like due to circumstances that is beyond our control here in the United States. I was actually waiting like for the link, and I don't know what happened. I kind of like I was like, okay, let me just close my eyes. Let me just rest a little bit. And resting a little bit, I just heard my phone ringing. Yeah, so sorry for joining a little bit late. Okay, my name is Emmanuel. Like we all know, as it has been introduced before, my name is Emmanuel, and I'm from Edo State in Nigeria, and I'm here in Massachusetts. I'm currently doing my MBA in Business Intelligence at Suffolk University, and I've been here for almost 2 years now. And what I would like to tell each and every one of us all on this platform, that the journey has been worth it. Has been worth it. Transitioning from Nigeria down to the city of Boston, Massachusetts, it has been worth it. And I would just like to encourage everyone out there that's also trying to take the same faith that I did, trying to, trying to do the same journey that I did to get here. And I just want to tell you that you can do it. As long as I can do it, each and every one of you can do it. Okay, and we're open to any questions. If you have questions, you want to know more about how, the process of getting the admission, and also coming down here, down to Boston, I'm like open to like give you every information that you've been needing today.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you again, Kingsley, for the invitation. And Emmanuel, it's a pleasure to meet you. As well as everyone on this call. I've seen one of my longtime friend and classmate from the university, David Tanko. Thank you for being here. And then our newest colleague as HDS, Tunde Oloro. He'll be coming for the fall, Kingsley. Yeah. So it's a pleasure being here. A little about myself. I'm Jude Ayua. I'm from Nigeria, a lawyer by profession. I was called to the Nigerian bar in 2021. I started practicing only for a year before moving over here for my master's education. And I'm studying theology at Harvard Divinity School. And yeah, well, when many people hear about theology, they think it's only in relation to ministries or wanting to become a pastor or priest, but it's way beyond that. Studies relate to how religion is playing a role in society, and that's something I've passionately been interested in, as well as how religion is affecting politics and policies around the world. So, and personally, I'm an aspiring politician. We hope to make a better change in Nigeria and around the world. And I've been here so far for 9 months now. So I have something at least I could share about the transitioning as well as settling down here. So feel free to ask questions as much as we can. We'll be able to respond to them. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, my brothers and friends.
I have a question already.
Okay.
Yes, and the question is to Emmanuel. You made mention of business intelligence. Do you mean the the visual analysis to like Microsoft Power BI?
Yes, please.
Okay. The question now is, if in Nigeria now, I already did the course with Microsoft, that is up to the master's level, and I can design the dashboard. Now my question is, how flexible it is that must I actually school or have a certificate in the US or the UK before I can apply for jobs that has to do with visual? How flexible it is for me to actually get job directly? Because in Nigeria, I think I've attained a lot of certifications.
Okay.
And going through the school, it's going to be a lot. So like my question is, how flexible it is, and is there a way that, okay, if there are job openings, since you guys are there, that you can get a direct link and like how do I say it? Like a referral? That's my question.
All right. Okay. For your question, I would like to start by saying, over here, they actually don't recognize certificates, no matter what you actually, the kind of degree that you have from Nigeria. They most at times don't recognize it. What they recognize here is the certificate that you obtain here in the United States. Yeah, even your job experience at times, they don't look at most of the job experience you have, like they don't look at most of the job experiences you have in Nigeria. All they concentrate more about is the experiences you have here in the United States. So for you to be able to get a job like here in the United States, you must have probably done a program, maybe like a 1-year course or something here in the United States before you can apply for a job, and they will be able to consider you. But just getting a job directly from Nigeria is just, maybe you're like so exceptional, you understand? That's your gift, that's your talent, and maybe the experience that you have, it's something that nobody here in the, they can't find anyone.
I have to
Yes, you have to apply for like a 1-year course or 6 months or something here. So it's when you get in here and you completed that program, maybe like 6 months or 1 year, that you can apply for a job here.
Right.
I don't know if
okay. A second question.
Okay.
Yes, I understand. I answered it. Now another question is, how about, let's say I have an online certification in software engineering with Holberton School, and then I travel. Can I use that certification to apply for a data science job? Like data analysis, sorry, not data science, data analysis, visuals, the Power BI.
Okay. Yes.
Will that certification, the online certification, stand for it? Okay.
Yes, you can. If the certification is recognized, it's like it's internationally recognized. Another thing I would like to say is that if you kind of like target companies that have branches here in the United States that are in Nigeria, like Microsoft, you can like apply to those jobs in Nigeria, and once you get those jobs, you can maybe you've worked with them for some time. You can just request to be transferred to their office here in the United States. It also happens that way too, because a friend of mine, we did the same class. I think it was last semester. That was what her husband works with a company that they have a branch here in the US. So he requested, she was already here. But while she was doing her processing application to come to the US, like to study, he was also trying to apply. He applied at this place of work so that they can transfer him to the US. And as God we have it, she got the visa to come study here in the United States. And he also, the office still granted his request to be transferred to the United States. So he went for the visa application, and he got 2 years to come to the United States and be part of the office here in the United States. So like that, he came, that was January. So you see, and to him now, he's not going back after he's done with the 2 years. It's just to look for how to transition and remain here since she's already here. So that's how they both came to the United States. Right. So if you can look for a company also that they have branches here in the United States, they can transfer you here. That also still works.
Okay, sounds good. Looks like Sunday Adisa is helping to give us some sort of order. Kindly use the chat box to send in your questions. We will take note of them and direct them to our facilitators accordingly. So, yeah, I think you could send me your questions as chat. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I have a question.
Speakers, please, you unmute again. The muting system mutes everybody. So
okay.
I have a question. I have a question to Jude.
Who's talking, please?
Musa Adamas.
All right. Is there something playing at your background? You're hearing some music at the background. Is that you? Yeah. I see your speaker modulating. So that should be you. Can you put the sound at the background, sir, please? Yeah, good.
Yes.
Go ahead and raise a question.
Okay. My question has to do with is about TOEFL exam. I had
Okay.
written to TOEFL about 5 times and with no response. So I don't know how to go about it again. Is it that I must write TOEFL exam before I get the scholarship and even the admission? Or there's a way I can get that, the admission and scholarship without TOEFL?
Okay, great. Thank you for your question. I hope you can still hear me. You can just do
Sorry,
a thumbs up if you hear me.
my own field is theology, theology. That's
All
why
right.
I direct my question to Jude.
Awesome. So can you hear my response, Musa?
Yes.
Awesome. So for TOEFL or any other English proficiency exam, it's usually for those who are starting here as undergraduates. If you are coming as a graduate student, you are usually not required to write English proficiency exam. And that is because Nigeria automatically falls under countries that instruct their students at the university level in English language. So for that reason, you do not require any English proficiency exam. It is when you are going to countries like Canada, they sometimes require it. Even for Canada, it's for countries that for those parts of Canada that are French speaking. So for that, they may require proficiency exams. But if you are coming to most popular institutions in the US, typically do not require English proficiency exam. So if you want to apply for a master's or even a PhD, just go ahead and apply. And besides that, for any institution you are targeting, it is good to go to their website to read their admission requirements before you even start. Go to their website, carefully read what they need you to have in place before applying to their programs. I hope that was helpful. Okay.
Well, let me put in a word there. I've met somebody who was sort of stagnated because she was confused about what might be required and not required. So I told her, well, the first thing is to find schools. Figure out a school or schools that offer what you. And like Ayua said, head straight to the admissions requirements and then begin to work towards meeting those requirements. More often than not, you would find just a finger waived, not required, more often than not. So I mean, you don't have to bother yourself about that proficiency test when a school you have in mind does not require it. So it's not important. And in fact, I have done a session on that sometime last year where I dissuade and discourage applicants from even going to take TOEFL exam or test. I feel if you're going to be taking a TOEFL test, especially as a graduate student, it's an insult. It in a sense invalidates the degree you already have, which you took in English to begin with. It invalidates it. So there is no basis to even want to apply for a master's degree in such a school. So there's a movement going on currently in America, a movement made up of Nigerian students, Nigerian scholars. And I'm in a little bit a part of it. We are trying to ensure that the TOEFL requirement is completely abolished in their in the assessment of Nigerian applicants to the US. So don't let that be a concern to you at all. It shouldn't be at all, especially for a graduate school. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, looks like there are questions here. Somebody
Okay.
saying,
Are you all right? Are you reading the question already? We have a question from Taufik.
okay, go ahead.
All right. We have 4 questions from Akimbo Taufik Babatunde. His first question is, as a young law undergraduate student who intends to study in one of the Ivy League colleges abroad, what are the requirements needed? Should I go ahead with everything, or we take it one after the other, sir?
Take the questions one after another. And then while we're trying to answer this one, try to sort through the others just in case there might be repeated questions.
All right, sir. So again, his first question is, as a young law undergraduate student who intends to study in, Ayumi, can I go ahead?
Yeah, I got the question.
All right.
Thank you, Sunday, for reading that out. And even though my master's degree now is not law, what I know about that from my interaction with other Nigerian trained lawyers who move over here for their graduate studies is, first, coming to an Ivy League university to do a master's degree in law, it's very competitive. You must be exceptional academically so I use those two conjunctions for a reason. Let me go with academically and professionally. So if you have excelled so far in your, please, if my background is too noisy, I can change my location. Kingsley? Or
No. I mean, we're getting the very best of sound from you. It's okay.
All right, thank you. So you should be exceptional academically and also professionally. So what have you achieved in your career so far? Irrespective of that, or notwithstanding these two that I've mentioned, one important thing is to convince the admission board that you have a good reason for coming to study. It is not just about getting admission to the university. What is your good reason? What is your motivation? What do you want to do with the degree you're coming to get from this Ivy League university? So if you can convince them about that in your application, which you usually include in your statement of purpose, then it will be an advantage to you, to your academic excellence, as well as your career achievement so far. Then on the second part, academically or professionally. Now, you may not have done so well academically in terms of graduating with a first class or a 2-1, but if you have achieved a great feat in your career, for example, a lawyer of 7 years post-court, if you can make reference to certain landmark cases you have won, your pro bono cases that you did for organizations or people, and your engagements with politics or non-profits or businesses, like anything you have done that is significant and relates to that field you want to pursue in your master's degree, then it will be an advantage to you. So you categorically stated that as a fresh law undergraduate, what I would advise is this: don't aim for a master's degree in an Ivy League university yet. I'm not saying it is a bad aspiration. I'm only advising you as to an easier way to get it. I've known of people who graduated like after their first year, and then they applied to do an LLM, and they couldn't get it because, first of all, some of these admission offers come with a scholarship, and they want to fund someone who really has a sense of purpose. It's not just about coming there to bear the name of being in an Ivy League university. So if you are just freshly out of university from Nigeria and want to go straight to a master's degree in an Ivy League university, what is the motivation? So what I would advise is you could go through an alternative route. Try a master's in another university that is not very popular, but still in the US. While you are here, you can start targeting the Ivy League university for another master's, because by now you would have been introduced to the US system of education and also gain certain experience. Secondly, you could still go to that Ivy League, but not directly in law, do another degree at that same university. And then after that, you can apply for the master's program. And I've given you the reason why. It's very competitive. So I hope that's helpful.
There is, sorry, sir, there is something I have noticed about Ivy League schools. For some of us who don't know what Ivy League schools are, let me try to give a background. Ivy League schools are prestigious universities in America. They are schools that have a rich history of significant social, political, economic, cultural impact upon the American life. So you're referring to these schools that have been hundreds of years in existence, like Harvard, Yale, Columbia University, Cornell, Brown,
MIT.
Yeah, MIT is in a sense, but not among the league, but it has a prestigious reputation. MIT and Stanford, but they don't have that historical heritage of Ivy Leagues. But they are the new generation Ivy League schools. They have all the prestige that the big schools like Yale and Harvard have. So something about these Ivy Leagues is just a little addition I want to make to what you have said, lawyer. The addition I want to make is that something about these big Ivy League schools is that they sort of steer some reverence and fear in applicants. So a lot of applicants don't apply to those schools normally. There is something about the need for inclusion that these schools have in their policies. They want inclusion, and these big universities, the Ivy League universities, are actually private universities, and they cater to international applicants more than local and national. So if you go to a school like Yale or Harvard, MIT, you're going to be seeing students from different parts of the world. UI is in Harvard right now. You agree with me that you're schooling, especially if you go to the Harvard Law School, for instance. I worked there for a while. You see students from different parts of the world. It's a conglomeration of international students studying together. So that's how they admit their students. They look around the world because of the role and impact that they seek to make upon the nations of the world. Now, they have a sense of quota system. They want to be able to have a representation of students from Africa, a representation of students from Asia, a representation of students from Europe, so on and so forth. And as they're trying to do that, Latin America and so on, as they're trying to do that, they are looking for applicants, actually. So the need for inclusion, take this seriously, sir. The need for inclusion sometimes makes them to even give preference sometimes to students from that part of the world who is applying that has a low representation on the campus. Okay, so the admissions committee would say, because the pride in being diverse, that's one of the things happening today, is a trendy conversation across institutions today. They want to be diverse and inclusive. So because they want to uphold that standard, they seek to ensure the admission is sensitive to that diversity. So if you are applying from Nigeria, for instance, now this is the interesting thing I have always said to you guys, a lot of Africans don't apply to Harvard, a lot of Africans because of the fear of Harvard.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to Harvard currently, the most African students, up to 90%, are Nigerians. Nigerians are daring, they are brilliant, they are audacious, and it's not today. I don't know if you know about Eton College, the British Royal College. Eton College is the school founded by the king, set up for the royalties. That's where Prince Williams and Harry schooled, Eton College. It's for only British nobles. You don't find a commoner in Eton College. Guess what? The first Black person that ever attended Eton was in Nigeria. The second was in Nigeria. The first was Tokunbo Adeyemi, the son of former premier of Western Nigeria. The young man died a short while after. And then the Libi, his elder brother is currently, no, his younger brother is currently the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Right. So these were the two first persons to break through into Eton College. This is the spirit of Nigeria. That's how Nigerians are. We go to where other people cannot go to. We thread grounds that are dangerous and tough to thread upon. So carrying that spirit of Nigerian in you, that Nigerian spirit in you, and you try work hard, and with the sensitivity to diversity, I'm telling you guys right now on this program, on this session, that you stand a good chance, because they're asking, how many students do we have currently in the law school from Africa? And then they have just maybe one or two, and they wanted more representation, and none has applied from the rest of the African countries other than Nigeria. And then, so you have a good chance. When I was in Harvard, we had two from Nigeria in the same college, which was very, very rare. And I felt, well, if they didn't find students from other schools and our applications were stellar, we are really good students, I must say. They had no choice but to take us, because there was that space there for us to go in. So Iowa, it is extremely competitive, like he put it. And look, man, you are going to school, you've seen people who already hold national portfolios currently in the law school. They are, you see them, these guys are the leaders of the world leaders of tomorrow. You just can see it. I mean, they are very smart, they're brilliant. They have read, they know what they are doing, so they can't just bring you there if you don't know your direction, which is why you have to have some, show some level of professional achievement. What I tell people is ensure that you have something that has national status, social status, cultural status, political status, in a sense of impact that you have made. Try to weave a story around something you have achieved that has national impact, cultural impact, social impact. They like it. That's another thing I want to say to you about the Ivy Leagues. Now, listen to me. They don't teach anything special. My friend, now you are in Harvard. I don't know if they teach you anything special that is not available, accessible anywhere in the world. They don't teach anything special. But you know what they do that gives them a big name? They admit brilliant students, and it's how they have done it over the years. And how they do it is they try to know who already is on a course towards becoming distinguished. You have heard this young man say he wants to become a politician tomorrow. Tomorrow he becomes Nigerian president, Harvard takes the glory. They start saying he went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Obama became president of America, they say he went to Harvard. That's what they do. They check your resume, they check your statement of purpose, and they can tell this guy is going somewhere. This guy has achieved something. They say you can tell a cock from when it's a chick. You can tell this one, the way they had dig will be cock. That's what this that is what the admissions committee do. So they check you and what you have written down. This guy is going to be somebody. And if they see those kinds of students, they don't want to let go. They know you will make a great mark in the world. And once they know you will make a mark in the world, they want to admit you and they take the glory. So we keep saying Harvard produces great minds. They were already great minds before they went to Harvard, by the way. That's it. So the selection process is so stringent, strict, to take in, to funnel down only those exceptional students. At the end, they take the glory. So if you have anything exceptional to present to Harvard, you are good to go. And I'm happy he said and/or. He uses those two conjunctions. So it's not only about academic merit. No, you might not have academic merit. I know someone who was on 3-point-something, Harvard admitted this guy, but he has something things to tell about himself. He has a national program that he is. Just give them that vibe of have national impact, have made cultural impact. Say something that touches on politics that is a little bit weighty. Harvard is excited to admit you. But of course, you have to be good, because when you are there, your brain, your mind will be taxed. The readings are not child's play at all. They are not child's play. You will read, you have headaches. That's a fact. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I hope, Latif, I hope you are satisfied with the answer. So we can go to your second question.
Yeah, which is, can you read it, please?
Okay, his second question is, what is the best approach to writing a winning statement of purpose?
Okay.
He said, what is the best approach to writing a winning statement of purpose?
Yeah, I just spoke now, so let me allow this other man to speak.
Emmanuel, maybe you can go now.
We've not heard from Emmanuel, so I'll like him to take the question.
Yeah, I think in the area of writing like a stellar statement of purpose, Kingsley already touched on that. Yeah, because you just need to be like intentional about what you're writing about. You need to bring in all of these experiences that you have, the contributions that you have made from your undergraduate, what you've done. You need to have like some work experience. You need to be able to like come up with your career trajectory, where you see yourself in the next 5 years, things you want to achieve, your academic performance, everything. It needs to be something that captures the reader's attention at a glance. You understand what I say? But it shouldn't be too wordy, because one thing about we Nigerians, at times we like to make and use too many words to like to express what we're trying to say. It shouldn't be too wordy. It should be like straight to the point. Okay, this is what I've done. This is my academic performance. This is what I hope to achieve in this year. This is what I have to bring in to Harvard. If it's Harvard you're applying to, you just tell, oh, this is what I have to bring in. Just like Bro Kingsley said, he said they the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's really big here in the United States. So they are looking out for students from this marginalized community, and you know how it is with the Blacks here in the United States. We just want to make sure that they recognize with people who are from Africa, people who are like the Black community and all of that. So if they see someone who has like potential, you just have to put that in writing. Oh, these are my potentials. This is, just be intentional. Be intentional about what you're writing. You shouldn't, most of the time I see so many people like contracting this stuff to people to write for them. No, it should come from you. Because when I remember when I did mine, I did like a video after submitting my whole DOI application, statement of purpose, everything. I also did a video essay. You just have to say some things about what is in your statement of purpose. Yeah, you just need to say something about it. So that was what I did that too. I just said some of the things that I've written down. And if you'll be able to do all of that, I think not just I think, I know that you will be considered in your application and every other that's in any other school that you've applied to.
Okay, and I also shared a link to a sample statement of purpose. Not a sample, but a guide provided by Harvard University. I shared it in the chat. You can follow that. And I also want to add to what Emmanuel said. You shouldn't contract anybody to write it yourself. One good reason is that if you are required to do a verbal interview, you may just need to repeat everything in your statement of purpose.
Yes.
And if there is any inconsistency, there will be suspicions, because people on the admission board are very critical. Like they know your statement of purpose better than you do. And when they begin to interrogate you about it, you shouldn't be at a loss. Master it. I'll give you a personal experience. When I went for my visa interview, I spent exactly 2 minutes and I got the visa. And what the first question they asked me, because they saw that, okay, I'm a lawyer, why am I going to study theology? It was 2 lines from my statement of purpose that I gave the interviewer, and they said, oh, great, you are good to go. I was surprised myself. So I'm just telling you how it's important, how important a statement of purpose is. It's something, he has given you the guide, Emmanuel has given you the guide to write it. And I will emphasize again that be a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Be a good storyteller. So I think Kingsley might want to add to.
It's been good. It's been good. Thank you. I'm good. So what's the next question, Sunday?
All right. Thank you very much for that. The third question is, can a second-class degree holder win a fully funded scholarship in an Ivy? I think this man is interested in an Ivy League school. So
yes,
his question is, can a second-class degree holder win a fully funded scholarship in an Ivy League school? If yes, how?
Let me say to you that if you can go to an Ivy League university, it's worth it, to be very honest with you, because let me tell you something. I was discussing that with Ayua sometime earlier. It has a significant social currency. Jude, you are still in school. When you graduate now, you know what I'm talking about. Every time I go somewhere and my conversation comes along the line of where did you school, and I mentioned Harvard. I didn't know until I left school. The atmosphere changes across board, and it's like, wow, you must be so good. So if you can get to an Ivy League university, it is good for you, your career. I'm not necessarily someone who wants to do job. I'm not job career person the way I think. But if I was to, I would something I can literally leverage upon. Sometimes where I teach in the university, I'm a little embarrassed the way they attend to me, the dean. And when the professor who took my class before me was introducing me in the class, and after everything he said, and I will say that Kingsley trained at Harvard, I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh goodness, it's just, I mean, this student will be expecting too much of me. But when he left, I mean, I told him, I said, don't mind that. I went to Harvard during coronavirus. So the point is, if you can, it is really good. But listen to me, Harvard doesn't make you any better, to be honest with you. A friend of mine went to a regular state university. This guy is doing exceptionally well. And I tell you, if this guy was in Harvard, for instance, he would have been, his brilliance would have been swallowed up very, very easily. Are you guys with me? So it has its pros and cons. It has its good sides and downsides. Number two, professors in Ivy League universities are very invested in their reputation. They usually want to hire the best. And then those professors, on the other hand, want to distinguish themselves. They are usually researching professors. They are research scholars. So some of the things that you may want to experience as a student, you have to make a little bit more effort before you can. They have more professors than the regular universities, actually. On the ratio of 1 student to 4 or 5 professors. That's a fact. But beyond their regular schedule, it is very difficult to get them. I remember a professor who was going for a sabbatical. I wanted to have a round off a personal conversation with this lady, and she said, Kingsley, I really can't talk to you. If you cannot talk to Professor Lupona, you have to wait until school resumes. I was like, goodness. She was busy with something that was a deadline, and that's how busy they all are usually. And they are very kind, actually, as a matter of fact. But if you can go to a regular university, no university in the West that is not well-funded, that does not have resources, tools that you need to excel. So don't be too obsessed with Ivy League schools, but they are good because of the name, prestige that it accords you. People respect you anywhere you go. They expect so much of you. So you really have to be brilliant too, so that you can live up to the name of the school that you have attended. Okay. Now, with a second class or even third class, you can get in. Their funding usually is not essentially merit-based. So don't worry that you don't have first class and you may not have scholarship. No. The typical school in America, once they admit you and they have scholarship package, they give it to you automatically. So it is called need-based scholarship. That is more common even than merit-based scholarship, because the American society is very much concerned about equal opportunities for all. So they don't restrict scholarship to those who are very good. No, they understand that being very good is something that is relative. One can be good and have A's, but is not good in the actual practice. So they don't make merit essentially the only means of getting scholarship. Merit is very minimal. It's not so much of how to get scholarship here. Once you have been admitted, you have been screened through the process and you are admitted, you are very much, what is the word now? You're eligible for funding, for scholarship, which oftentimes is need-based scholarship. But you have to be sure that the school has the funding. You have to be sure that the school gives scholarship to students. You have to be sure when you are searching for school. So don't just jump into a school arbitrarily or blindly. Be sure that they have funding first, and do not worry about your class of degree. They don't segregate once they have admitted you. except they emphasize it that it is merit-based scholarship. Usually there is that one, but it's not important. You can disregard that and apply for need-based scholarship. Okay, that's the main thing in many of these schools, need-based.
All right, thank you for that, sir. I don't know if Emmanuel or Jude would like to add anything to that.
No, from me.
Are you,
All right.
are you on campus?
Yeah,
Everybody is dropping and they are not seeing their alumni talking about them.
yeah. No.
All right. The last question from Akimbo Taufik is there a difference between studying in the UK and the US?
Yeah, so for me, I haven't schooled in the UK, so I can't say much, but I know there is some difference. I can't point out categorically. I can only say something about US schools. For example, the grading system. The grading system in the US is distinct from that of the UK. UK uses similar grading system as Nigeria, but in the US, the grading system is check minus. If you go into a class, you typically have 100 marks in that class. So all through your semester, you are trying to maintain your 100 marks.
Yeah.
Anything you do is a minus from it, you get.
It's a
But,
minor.
but to zero, and you are working to get your points. And that's why.
Sorry, we lost you. We lost you, brother. Could you go back again a little bit?
Now hear me.
Oh no, we got you back.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay. Yeah, so where
start,
exactly
start
did you
from,
stop hearing?
start from the British system.
So I said that the British system, which is similar to that of Nigeria, is you go into a class with 0 marks, and then you are working.
Very true. Very true. What's happening?
Okay, so let me connect to a better network.
Okay, all right then. We'll wait for you.
Yeah.
The point he made was a very brilliant point. Very true. The British essentially are miserly. I hope there's nobody from Britain here. They're miserly, they're economical. What they give you, the British people, that's how they are generally. To the contrary, Americans are more generous. The American gives a lot, just give.
Yeah.
Now, same with the school. In Britain, you have to earn a point. When you come into a class, it's assumed you have 0 points. So you have to earn the points up until the end of the semester, end of the class. Whereas, like he said, in the US, you come into the class, you already have 100 points. So it's up to you as a student to retain
the 100 points
by meeting up with requirements, do your assignments, do your readings and everything else. So
Yeah.
that's the point. I love it. And it's beautiful. It's easy to get a first class in America. My wife has all A's on her papers. Honestly, that's a very powerful one for me. All her papers, the least she has is an A minus. It's only one. But of course, it's a lot of hard work. It's just not easy. Yeah, it's not easy for this.
Yeah. He has made the point. So another thing is US school, like Kingsley said, very generous. They're generous not only with marks, but also with their financial aid. UK schools don't give so much financial aid as US schools. And it's still tied back to the issue of diversity and inclusion that Kingsley talked about earlier. So US is more, you have more advantages being here. But someone who has schooled in the UK will have a better experience to tell you. Now, this is me glorifying US because I'm here as against UK where I've never been to. Perhaps there are other better things. So take that as a caveat, okay?
We have someone coming very soon. Anne, she'll be speaking about the UK, so you'll hear more. But I have that bias. America for me is a lot. America is a thing. Honestly, this country is God planned this country for country is something else. They have a way of um creating marvels out of things. They they are a marvelous country.
I agree with you.
If you can come to America, it's a lot better, even economically. It's a lot better
Yeah.
than any other country. I tell you. They have what they call currency of last resort that the entire world uses, and that is a lot. Even though cryptocurrency might be um putting that aside gradually, and the tussle between America, the free world, and China and Russia today, that is silent battle. Sorry, battle. Here we are here. They don't mention or pronounce it. We try to speak like them. So this silent
Yeah.
battle that is going on between these hegemonic powers. So what China is trying to do, which is the second strongest economy, with a phenomenal rise to that status within a very short period of time, from a third world country to a developed country or developing country or developed country, however you argue it, they are now trying to uh, they're trying right now to not depend on American dollars anymore as
Yeah.
currency of last resort. So we foresee a future where American economic strength might gradually ebb out, which is normal. My wife and I had a conversation about that, and she says it's normal. No nation was ever superpower indefinitely. So it's the nations live in phases. But other than that, America has been really great in terms of how they have built a robust, strong, powerful economy and is almost unshakable, so to speak, except with the aggressive attack from China. Some of you are aware. Sorry, we are digressing, but this is a forum where we learn. Some of you are aware that America has been very much against TikTok in recent times. And I was telling someone, I said it is because China that owns TikTok and there's one other application again that's also very important. They have tweaked the algorithms to feed American society with contents that degrade their minds. So it's an ideological war between America and China currently going on. So the American Congress recently had a proceeding to talk about whether they should ban TikTok, and it has gone through one or two phases thereabouts to put an end to TikTok. So that's the war raging between these two nations right now, vying for superpower. Europe has had its days of superpower stardom, and those days are over. So it came to America and looks like it's shifting to Southeast Asia in no distant time. That's Russia domain and then China. So we entered politics.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting topic actually, and it's things that if you're coming here, these are debates you can't avoid when you are here as a scholar. So it's good you are getting into it already. And there are also cybersecurity concerns about TikTok. One state already has banned TikTok to the US. That's the first state, and that's one thing
Sorry,
with the
what's the
society here.
Can I guess? Is that Florida?
No, it's not Florida, but I have to remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to remember because I'm in a cybersecurity class at the Kennedy School. That's why I'm privy to this information. Yes, yeah. So, like, it's still about the advantages of being here rather than other places. Yeah? There's so much power to the individual than in certain institutions. So, you being here, there are better opportunities. That's what I can say in addition.
Yeah.
All right. Can we take another questions?
All right. Thank you so much for the answers so far. We have this question from Tunde Oloro. Sorry if I did not get the pronunciation of your name right. This is for someone who has gotten admission into a US school. Let me just rephrase. It says, how do we navigate through the visa proof of fund? after getting admission into a US school, there is this ordeal of showing a proof of fund. How do we navigate through it? Knowing full well that it is not easy to get funds in Nigeria.
Yeah,
And
that's
even
true.
when you get this proof of fund, the rate at which people tell you to refund, it's alarming. And we have talented individuals that have gotten admission that are willing to go and give it all their best, but this financial issue is a problem. So how do we navigate through that?
Yeah, Jude, please speak to this. Can we know what you did, how you handled yours? If you don't mind, though.
Okay, that's fine. I thought Emmanuel might want to go first, but since you called me out,
I
I'll
don't
take
mind,
a
maybe
minute.
I'm biased. I know anything about Emmanuel, so you guys yeah, about you.
Okay,
I will speak.
all right,
Take the floor, sir.
all right, all right. Thank you. So, I'm speaking from personal experience. I wouldn't say I'm speaking from personal experience. I wouldn't talk about any other university I don't know about. So, for my school, what they require, that proficiency is to show that you have the funds. And if you have a fully funded scholarship or a scholarship that caters for your full tuition, I bet you don't need any additional funds to survive while you are here. Yeah, you can do student jobs and take care of your personal expenses. But they add all those personal expenses, books and everything, of which you may not even require to buy any book when you get here. But they just add those things. The resources are just too much for you. You can get any book you want, whether it's within hours or days, get it and use it. You may not need to buy one, but they just add those things to show that, okay, at least you can take care of yourself. So, St. Kingsley was particular about what I did. There are three options. There are three options for funding. First is individual funds. Second, funds from family or relatives, and three, fund from an organization. So, for individual funding and family or relatives, you must provide a bank reference letter showing that that person has the amount in their account. It's not even a bank statement, it's just a letter from the bank to say that this person has the proficiency. Then for the organization, they only need to know that this organization exists somewhere and is doing well. A website, for example, is a good proof for them. That's a good proof for them for a website. So if you are getting funding from an organization, it's only a letter. The organization is saying, okay, I want to fund this person. They have worked with me, or I'm connected with this person in this way or that, and I would like to fund them. So for me, I depended solely on an organization that put in a letter for me. That was the law firm I started working with in Nigeria. They put in a letter. They didn't give me one kobo, 1 naira. And when I arrived here, they didn't send me any like a cent of the money they promised they were giving me.
Did they give you bank statements?
No, they didn't give bank statement because it wasn't required.
Okay, only letter.
Yes, only letter. From organizations, it's only letter. That is for Harvard. So that's why I say I'm speaking for Harvard and how I did it. Then I also had some money in my personal account, which they required only a bank letter, not even a statement also. So navigating that is quite easier. However, when you arrive here, you have to also further prove that you actually had the money you claimed you did by opening a US bank account and transferring that money into it. So those are conversations we can have at a deeper level.
I like the way you responded. So Emmanuel,
Yeah.
I wanted to hear that part. So you see,
Okay.
I went through all of those things he's talking about. I mean, guy, if you know how big on the neck, I recall that. See, they were giving stipend, they paid tuition, but they said you had to show evidence that money was still coming from Nigeria for your wealth.
Yeah.
They expect you to live well and be comfortable, and I didn't need the money. The country already gave everything I needed.
You don't need that money, but you must have it. Or you must show it.
So that's something you will tell us at another time. Can we hear from you?
All right. Yeah, for the proof of fund, that one it's like a long discussion on its own because I am sure that that's like a hurdle that usually derail people most of the times in their visa, the application and everything. Because I also had that same encounter too. Wouldn't have been here if not for God and divine intervention. Like Mr. Yua already pointed out, you need to have either personal funds, which is individual, and family funds, or from funds from an organization. In my school, they need you to send like a bank statement. Theirs is like what, it differs between schools. For mine was required, they required a bank statement. So that's for the proof of fund. So initially, because I was actually, when I was like looking for schools, I tried UK, Germany. So just like Mr. Kingsley said, US is like the last, the last resource, Sabi resource, in terms of like economically, like a US is the best option because I was like trapped in between having finance to like to fund my going to the UK and also going to the Germany. But I did the math. But coming to the US, I don't need that much money. Yeah, I don't need that much finances. Initially I was trying to go to Germany. Germany, you have to open a block account, put almost in 4 or point something million. So at that time, I was trying to sell one of my property that I had in Nigeria, and the money they were like coming up with wasn't just all that encouraging. So, and my US admission have been there for close to 8 months because I got the offer and everything in January, and I cycled back to them. That was in June. That was when I realized, man, all those other school UK, they were asking for you have to pay initial deposit of £8,000 and all. I was like, I just have to cycle. Went back to my school in the US and asked them, yo, is my offer still available? They said yes. So getting the banks, the proof of fund, I had to contact a friend of mine in Texas. So I was like, can you help with a proof of fund? This is what I'm actually faced with. So he sent me his bank statement. I sent to the school. So they sent my first I-20, but on the sponsor, it was friend that was there on the sponsor. And I tried doing research to know if friend can actually, it's, a friend sponsoring you, it's won't there will be a problem, or when you're like doing the interview, if it's going to suffice, you saying, oh, my friend in the US is sponsoring. I did research and everything. I think it was only 1 or 2 persons that have done that, and they're from Ghana. I said a friend. I was like, oh God, how do I want to overcome this challenge? So I tried on my own, because everything I did was I did my self research and everything. I had to, try to go seeking out for funds. I was calling uncles if they can, just help with funds, transfer to my mom's accounts because my dad is late. So I was like, okay, let me use my mom, because the money was that they were asking for was a little bit big. So I was like calling, trying to reach out to people. They should just, if they can, help to transfer money into my mom's account. And I think Tawfiq, the person that is it Sunday that read the question out, he said something about people having the problem of when you ask those people that will be able to give you the funds, they put a lot of money. I don't know, the interest that you have to pay was like too much. I also had that too. The interest that they were caught at, like asking me to pay, was really too much, was just too high. So to cut the whole long story short, I was able to change my sponsorship from my friend to my mother at the dime minute. It was like 2 days to my interview. And when it has to be 72 hours, that's for you to submit your DX160. So I submitted it like almost 2 days to my interview. I was able to get funds, and I changed it to my mother. So I used my mother's bank statements. So that was what helped me, because I don't think going to the interview and saying, oh, it's my friend in the US that is sponsoring me would have helped. No, it wouldn't have. So it's actually a challenge though, because the money they request for you to show as proof of fund is just too much. And getting the funds back in Nigeria is really hard. To be honest, it's really, really hard. I knew what I went through. It's really, really, really hard, but we thank God today.
Yeah. Let me also quickly add that there has been a misconception over the time about the embassy requiring you to present a bank statement. It's not required if you have an I-20 form. The embassy would not request you to present any bank statement. So some persons have gone to the extent of sometimes falsifying bank statements and taking them to visa interviews. That could land you into big trouble. If you usually look at the checklist for visa interview, bank statement is never there. And for me, I use that as a good defense to not go and get any bank statement. I went with my I-20. The amount that you need is written on that I-20, and the I-20 is signed under oath by the school that admitted you. So the embassy must honor that. So except the embassy has categorically told you to bring a bank statement, please don't put yourself under pressure.
Can I just add, in addition to what you are saying, they asked for my bank statement. That was when I was at during my visa interview, because my school is really.
Sorry, Emmanuel, was it the embassy that requested for your?
Oh, so sorry. No, embassy doesn't.
Yeah.
Embassy doesn't. That's what I was
embassy.
saying.
Embassy doesn't. It's the visa officer.
Contrary to the experience of Jude, Harvard required me to present bank statement.
Okay.
Maybe because I had family and they were like, they wanted to be sure this guy could take care of a family in Massachusetts.
Same with me too.
Okay.
That's right.
Emmanuel,
You are right. You are right. So I have someone else who is coming and he put forward a letter from an organization, but they required a bank statement. And he also has a family. Okay. So I think family, they require bank statement, but for an individual, they don't.
Yeah. So
now,
the university, it's good for you. I mean, it has pros and cons. So
yeah, it does. And sorry, I also want to add another thing. You could actually get for if you know that you're having issues with getting a bank statement, you can request for a loan from Empower, like Empower.
Please tell us more. I mean, I want to hear about Empower.
Yes, you can request for a loan from Empower or Prodigy. So that will help you to scale through, the hurdle of looking for a bank statement. And when maybe your visa interview, it's like in 6 months time. In the 3rd month, you can apply to Empower for a loan. And once you get approved, Empower sent you the proof of fund and everything before your interview. So you can use that as a proof of fund for your interview. That's the visa officer. They honor that. The embassy honors that too.
Can one apply for that and eventually cancel it? Yeah,
yes, you can apply for it.
Like Jude said, the costs of living, which the school itemizes, accommodation, feeding, books, and so on and so forth, is a lot of money that you don't need. And that's what the embassy wants to be sure has been met by the applicant. Now, in a situation where someone has full tuition granted him or her, and then you just can't find the extra money to show that proof of fund, and then the Empower option, the Empower offer is taken, can one then use that to apply and eventually say, because they don't disburse the real fund? Could you say
no, they don't. When you get to the school,
money. Yeah, I don't need the money anymore. Maybe
the
obligation. Okay.
Yes, you can do that. That also suffices.
Okay.
Yeah, you just let them know that you don't need the fund anymore. You cancel the whole loan plan obligations and whatever. Yeah, so that's also a good way of showing proof of fund, because some students who came in, that was in the fall of last year, that was what they did. They used the Empower proof of fund, so they were not required to get any bank statement from anybody. And one thing with Empower, they will honor your loan if you're able to your financial plan. That's what really matters. I don't know if anyone is like trying to apply for Empower loan. Your financial plan should be well arranged. If your financial plan is not well arranged, there's every tendency that they will deny the loan. Yeah, so your financial plan, and they also request for bank statements. The only time they will ask for bank statement is when you indicated that you have maybe you have personal fund or you have family fund. So they'll request for bank statement from for those funds that you say you have, if it's personal or family funds. But if you put that you don't have any funds anyway, they won't ask you for bank statement.
Okay, this is, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
This is Empower. This is sorry. So this is where you can get a loan from Empower website. Apply now, and schools we support. They support about 400 schools. Yeah. Schools, colleges across the US and the larger Americas. So they also have scholarships, but it's very minimal. The Global Citizen Scholarship, Women in STEM, MBA Scholarship, and the monthly scholarships. But essentially, Emmanuel is talking about the loan, which is sourced from here, up to $100,000.
Yes.
Up to $100,000 maximum. So you start application, no collateral is required. I think it's a great opportunity that you can find. Emmanuel, thank you very much for bringing this up. Thank you.
Kingsley, probably you could share the link, since you just copy the link there and share in the chats. They might check it out themselves.
They don't require cosigner. Even Prodigy too, they don't require cosigner, but Empower is well recognized. The embassy, they kind of like, they know Empower. So most people that get loans from Empower, they usually grant them the visa.
Okay.
All right, I guess we have someone on the call that has reached out to them, and the person is telling us that they do not support Harvard in their response. Maybe the person has sent a mail to the organization or something.
Wow.
Oh.
That's serious. I never knew.
Let me check that out. Let me check that out. We can tell. Just hold on.
Okay.
It sounds why would it not? That's the question. Let's see. So let's go back. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, let me just start here. Empower. So students graduated digital learner process, US and Canadian school supported 400. No link. We can search for that. Let's see, learn more. Schools we support, right? Find my school.
Yeah.
Harvard. Emmanuel, did you take this loan?
Yes, I did.
You sound very articulate about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Harvard is among them. Harvard University, Massachusetts is among.
Yes.
Is this clear? This is Harvard. I mean, is this clear to us?
All right.
Yes. Yeah, Harvard.
Tunde Oluru, I think you need to get the correct message from them, or maybe there is a mix up somewhere. So Harvard is one of the schools that they support.
They usually update and schools that they like yearly. That's how they do it. They update schools, because it's not every schools that accepts. So when they're able to reach their agreements with the school, then they update it on their portal, so you can see it. Maybe they just, but I think Harvard has been with them for long.
Okay. I should expect them to take Harvard, for God's sake. Harvard student.
Yeah.
All right. Can we take some of the last questions?
All right. Thank you very much. The next question, I think it has been answered. Someone was asking how possible is it to get admitted for a second degree? Second degree, by that you mean graduate studies, right? Or second degree.
No, that should be like, yeah, graduate studies.
So the person is asking how possible is it to get scholarship for a second degree. That has been answered, and I think the
Yeah.
person should have gotten
That's-
answers to the question.
Just trying to attend one of our sessions on sourcing, scouting for schools with funding. We have done lots of sessions on that. So request a resource on that. We have resources on that either Melvin or Padre can forward to you. It looks like you just joined the PAIDEIA family recently. Those of us who have been here since last year, these are things we have covered extensively, right?
Yes, sir.
All
All
let's
right.
take this question, yeah.
Another question we have is from Samuel AJ. I hear of OCMT in Canada with partnership with loan organizations. How credible is this school considering the fact that they offer a 1-year program and then transfer you to a partner institution for another year? I don't know. Is there anything on that? OCMT in Canada.
So Sunday, I was expecting you to sort the questions even before presenting them so that we can have clear questions to respond to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we trust your judgment to sort the questions, sift them so that we don't bring up questions that are not
all right.
clear. Yeah, or you forward it back to the person to make it clearer.
All right. While we are waiting for clarity on that, the next question is how easy is it to get jobs in the US after studies? I think that goes to Mr. Kingsley. He's done with his studies and now. So he's done with his studies now. So
My
how is he
friend-
coping?
My friend just got the job too, Emmanuel. And Emmanuel,
Okay.
did you say you'll be
Oh,
traveling?
awesome.
Did you say you'll be traveling to Africa soon?
Yes, please.
Okay, so he's exiting school. He just got an offer. Let me tell you something about America. Jobs are not a problem in America. They are begging you to
Yep.
work. They can pay you to work. They give bonus to the person who recommends you to work.
Yeah.
See, there is what they call the great resignation that happened during and after the COVID-19. The employers are looking for staffers and employees right now in America, which is not good for the economy though. And then the COVID did not allow a lot of people come in during the past 2 years. So right now, usually people come in during summer to come and work and go back. Let me tell you guys, those rich guys in Nigeria that used to go abroad during summer, they come here to work. I didn't know until I saw big men. They come here
Yeah.
to bar, drive taxi, work in healthcare, and go back. So you guys will be admiring them. Big men have gone for vacation to America. No, they come to work and then they make millions and go back home. So during the COVID, a lot of them couldn't travel. There were no visas being issued. So America has a lot of jobs, but the problem is you have to finish and get OPT. That's what they call optional practical training authorization for work. And if you're not in the STEM, in the sciences, it is 1 year. Those of us in the arts is 1 year. And after 1 year, you are done, right? Except it's a PhD you have, then you can have PhD is about 3 years. But my friend Emmanuel is in the STEM. Emmanuel is going to have 2 years of OPT. You can work anywhere, do anything, make nice money, right? But that is when you have finished. The school updates your from I-20 to be a work status from I-20, which you use to apply for work authorization from the office of the USIS, United States Immigration Services, and then they will grant you authorization to work within your area of training. That's what they say. But sometimes you can get a job in a different field, but find a little connection and explain to them that your training is connected to this job in this way. That will be good enough for them. Now, the challenge is after your OPT, what is next? That's a challenge for everybody who comes here as a student. Because you can't work beyond that 1 year. Employers will not employ you beyond that 1 year. The employment process is very thorough. They scrutinize you thoroughly. You have to present work authorization. So after that 1 year, you're supposed to go back to Nigeria. But what a lot of people do who want to enjoy staying in America is you don't have what to do, you don't know how to handle it. You want to go back to school again and have a student status, because if you don't have documents to stay in this country, you are illegal, and you don't want to be illegal. Once you are illegal, it's a big problem. The day you are found, you are caught, and they deport you, you will never again come into America. That's unfortunate. So for single people, when they come, this is not solicited. Well, it's an easy way. God help me that is taken in good faith. I don't want to corrupt you with opportunism. But for single people, most of the times is when they come, they try to get married here. And I tell you guys that are lovely ladies here. All American ladies are not wayward. Take that into your mind, and they are very beautiful, right? They are not all wayward. My friends have married Americans and they are doing very well, have beautiful marriages from Black American to white American. I've seen them, Christians. But be careful, a lot of them live on drugs. A lot of the average American young person, because it's a lone society. Nobody cares about you. Everybody lives on their own. So people get depressed, the age of social media. So sometimes they are into some sort of addiction. You see a very nice lady, soon you realize that she's taking drugs. When you get close, it's a very common thing here. Colleagues smoke cigarettes at workplace. It's a general social problem all around the world. People are depressed. They're trying to hold on to something that gives them, that cheers them up. But it is the Spirit of God. It is prayer. It is God. Okay? So figure out how to handle your pressures, but some of them have not. And they take those things. Then marriage helps you to get documents. Once you marry an American, you can have legal status to stay in America, and with time you get your green card and then your citizenship. That's one route. There are other visa routes that are not very common, but they are there. There are professional visa applications that you can take. But oftentimes you have to leave the country and go back, because the visa that brought you here was student visa, which is F1. Once it exhausts, you've got to go back. Go back to Nigeria and then reapply for professional visas. They call them, is it the B1, B2, whatever? That's the name, I guess. I'll get the names well properly. But students within religion, Ayua, this is going to be beneficial to you. You can get a church to sponsor you for what they call religious visa. American government prepared that visa only for people in religious discipline. So that's the RJ visa, which if you have, you can stay in America as a religious worker. It has been offered to me, but I didn't take it. I feel I didn't want to be caged too soon. I wanted to concentrate on some things. So you can have that while you were here. But the easier thing to do if you are not sure what to do, where to go, but also ensure you have good ethics. It's not easy. So you don't compromise. Have good ethics. It's not all about living in America. You can go back home to Nigeria and God will bless you. And that's to correct something again that we have said earlier. We said America is a better place to live in. Look, my brother, you can be in anywhere else and you do better than anybody else in America, to be honest with you. It just depends on where God really wants you to be. So don't be too fixated on America. Honestly, don't be. It may not even be the best for you and your family in the long run. So take everything we have said in terms of where is better for one to live in with a grain of salt, okay? There are divine relativism to all of these discourses that we have not brought clearly to your attention yet.
Yeah. Sure. Just to quickly add to the last point of Kingsley, I wanted saying this from the beginning. Don't take your coming to study outside Nigeria as an escape route. It's not the best approach. It's not always the best approach. We know the country is bad, things are hard, but follow divine counsel. That's just one single line I would say.
All right. Thank you so much for the session. Thank you for the responses so far.
Sorry, one more thing. Students in the STEM, in the sciences, it's very easy for you to get jobs. And that, so an organization that you work with is the only body empowered to sponsor you. So if you want to stay in America and have a visa to stay in America and work, the organization ought to sponsor you. You can't sponsor yourself. So except a family member invites you, that's a different thing. But as a student who has finished studying, if an organization likes your service, maybe after OPT, they can sponsor you to remain, and then you get documents and leave. But it's not easy. It's common and easier in the science disciplines, which we refer to as the STEM. What is STEM again? Science. Let me see if I can recall STEM. Science, technology,
Technology,
and math.
yeah.
America is in hot pursuit of these disciplines. They love these disciplines. They pay them very well. If you are in these disciplines of STEM, they pay you well. You will get money for this America. You will be earning upwards of $10,000 a month. 7, 8, thereabout upwards. Now, then if you are in the liberal arts, like us, we just manage. Lawyers also do very well. I mean, lawyers and attorneys are doing well. So we would manage. Yes, we manage because they so it is very hard to get sponsorship outside the STEM because the organization has to prove to the government that they can't find people to occupy
Yeah, too.
job. Yeah, they have to prove. It's a very difficult thing. It's a legal thing. I may not be very articulate about this. Maybe my friends can talk about that. But the important thing is just come. When you come, God will guide
That's
you.
the thing. When you come, you cross cross the bridge. That's just it's
the
what
the oil on your head might be so powerful.
Yeah,
It's just
it might. It might be. That's just like Mr. Kingsley said, the organization that you're working with after your OPT, they will be the one to sponsor your H-1B visa. And most of the time when you're applying to all of these organizations, they'll ask you if you require sponsorship. And when you say yes, that's like the end of your application. You don't move further. They'll be like, oh, so sorry, you're not eligible to apply for this job at this time because the way it is here in the United States, getting most of the time getting the organization to sponsor you, it requires some financial commitment, and the process is a little bit rigorous. So that's why they try to shy away from it. They'll just be like, once you say yes, then that's the end of your application. But when you say no, then you can proceed further. So that's how it is. And after your OPT, that's when it's between you and the organizations now to sponsor you or not. Maybe when they see that the contribution you've made to the organization, that will make them decide to want to keep you. So keeping you means they'll definitely file for your H-1B. And there's also another thing called national interest waivers. That's for the professionals. If you have like a lot of experiences, maybe you have like a master's degree in Nigeria and you're coming here for another master's degree, you have up to, I think, 10 years work experience. Yeah, you can apply for the national interest waiver. That one, you can do it on your own. And when you approve, I think this year, there are like a couple of Nigerians that have been able to get the national interest waiver. It's like for professionals. So that means you have something to offer here in the United States. So if you're approved for that, then you get your, I think it's 5 years or 2 years. Then after that, you can apply for your green card. And after that, you get your citizenship. So it depends. Just like Mr. Kingsley said, it depends on God's intervention. Just follow the will of God. I know how it is back home in Nigeria, just like me every day now. Even you be like, oh, you want to, like, don't come. But like, there's no place like home. But they'll still just don't want you to come back. I know how hard it is though, but it's just for you to bring your foot in here. Once you're here in the United States, you get that divine instruction, divine intervention from God, where God wants you to go. If it's not in the city, another city, or somewhere else, and it will all be good at the end of the day.
Yeah, let me share. This is a picture of my childhood friend Andra Dudu and his beautiful wife Helena. They are doing very well. They've been married for like 11 years. Came here to study and he found her. This guy is living very well with this lady. They are so well doing. He began to work as an assistant pastor in the church. He was not a pastor. He read something in the sciences. They are committed Christians. Are you guys with me? Are you guys
Yep.
with me?
We are with you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. So,
We are with you, sir.
part of what we do is also to mentor. So this is my
Yep,
friend
yep.
Joshua and his wife Jan. They have been our beautiful friends. Look at their lovely children. These are lovely Christians. I'm trying to dissuade you from the fear that if you marry out of home, you are lost. It's not true. Don't believe it. I'm just trying to clear that air. Okay. These people have very lovely families. I know them closely. We are very good friends. Very good friends. So just make sure God leads you. Be free. Free your mind and your heart. Follow the leading of God, and you can find a woman if you choose. And I don't think anything is wrong with it. You don't have to go back home and go and marry. And then you settle. God helping you, you settle. And there are many Nigerians. I have just brought in Jude Ayua, a guy. There are many young ladies who have come from Nigeria, or some, they were born here, their parents are from here. They want them married from home. They are looking for a young man. And they sound very sophisticated, but they are simple. Don't fear them. You can actually date them. I'm talking to the guys now when you come. Don't let that scare you. All of them speak good English. Don't mind their English. Some of us from Nigeria, we don't speak the English, but we are good. We are not bad. So I'm trying to prepare your minds. That's the thing about me. I'm trying to help you. Don't be afraid. Don't be timid. If you feel clearance from God, I love this person. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. You don't have to go back to Nigeria. The world is a global village. Take her back.
Yeah.
If she's a Black American, take her back to her roots. All right. Take that again with a pinch of salt. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think that will be all. The last thing we have, I don't think it's really a question. Samuel was talking about, I think he's referring to Jude now, saying he mentioned not going for a master's in law, but going for another degree, undergraduate. Oh, there is a misconception there. That is not an undergraduate program. It's still a postgraduate program.
Yeah,
So
yeah, right.
he went for theology instead of law. So it's not another undergraduate degree. So it's not a second degree. When you are talking about second degree, that's your master's program, not another degree as an undergraduate. So Samuel, maybe that's where you are getting it wrong. A second degree generally in Nigeria is like you are going for your master's program, not another undergraduate program.
Thanks
for the clarification.
And by the way, something very important about law is that what Jude is doing is profound. You see, the Harvard University began with a divinity school. That was the first school that offered a degree in the entire Harvard University. The divinity school was a school for practically every person. And in America back in the days, before you became a lawyer and a judge, especially, you must have a divinity degree. Because, I mean, a judge who sits in the place of God, as the Bible says, as God spoke of Moses, must understand the will and the counsel of God. So Jude is taking the right path in building a robust legal career. That's how it should be. You shouldn't be a lawyer, a judge, who mediates or who presides over the case of people that involves life and death, and you don't even know basic ethics. And that is what you will learn as a divinity student. He's exposed to a very robust training right now. So if someone wonders, oh, he's coming from law, he's doing divinity, that is how in times past, when societies were healthy and sane, that was how they did it. So he's doing what is precisely right and an ideal. So he developed a conscience of ethics. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is evil. Then he proceeds on to become a lawyer, a jurist, a judge, whatever it is he becomes a sound one. He understands what is the will of God. He understands the virtue of courage and so on and so forth. By his interaction in the field of divinity that exposes him to classics, because he's going to be doing language. I did classics, Greek philosophies, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to lay that background.
Thank you so much.
It's a profound development.
All right. Thank you so much for that. The last thing here is from Samuel again, Samuel AJ. So he was talking about a particular school in Canada that offers a 1-year master's program. But after the program, if you decide to settle in Canada, like you want to live there, they transfer you to another organization, like a partnership. So you have to do a 12-month program or something with the organization, and after that, you will be eligible to leave. So his question is about the credibility of that school. So, and I think you have to go to the website of the school and probably confirm from students that have graduated from the school who have taken the same process, and you can make do with this by connecting with them on LinkedIn or trying to get to them through their social media network, or you ask directly from the program coordinator, or what solution can you prefer to this? It's trying to ask about the credibility of the school offering you the program, their master's program for 1 year, then transferring you to another organization they partner with for you to live in Canada before you can get before you can be eligible to live there. So I don't think is a question you
Sorry,
can answer. Or
essentially, what is this question? Is he asking whether it is a credible means of working in Canada? Is that a question?
no, the question is the program after you finish your master's program in a school, there's a particular school that will offer you a 1-year master's program. But if you decide to live in Canada, they now partner with another organization. So they will transfer you to the organization to work for 12 months. So it's asking for the certainty of this, if it is sure, if it is real, if they are credible, or it's a scam. So that's his question.
There's no way we can know. We are not spirit beings.
That's what I'm saying, that you have to maybe you need to find out from the school or people that have done the program. And Emmanuel, maybe you explain.
I'm also trying to check to see if I can find something on it, but I've not been able to see in Canada. But I've heard of something like that in Finland. Yeah, I heard someone living in Finland. She gave she did a session on that. So, but I don't know for Canada. I just know something like that is obtainable in Finland. And she was even saying that's like a cheap way to get into Finland, to like get the permanent residency. You know, it's more like a cheaper route though, but I don't know of Canada. I'm even checking, but I can't see anything regarding that on Canada.
It's possible, to be honest.
Yes.
Canada has more flexible residency programs that help you eventually to get documents. Canada is larger than America, by the way. Canada is arguably one of the largest countries in the world, but they don't have people to occupy the large space they have. So Canada, and then they don't have population. I mean, their people don't give birth, right? So Canada is in need of people to sustain their economy over the years gone by. So people are, swarming Canada. If you go to Canada to school, it's not difficult for you to remain. Even UK has a program now. Once you graduate, you can apply and stay for 5 years or 4 thereabouts. Those countries don't have those problems. And that's why we keep saying, just go. But Canada will give you citizenship easily. Once you are working in, you get citizenship of Canada. And it's important. It means that you can always travel there. You are part of the country as you have been part of Nigeria or Uganda or Kenya, wherever you're from right now. Okay? But we cannot tell if what you are saying is legit. We can't tell. I had a program where I taught you about how to tell if something is legit. Some of you who have been consistent in following me, I know you will know how to tell. So this person asking the question, I'm sure you have not really followed some of my sessions. And if you're not too engaged, try and follow my sessions if you truly want to go abroad. we know a few things that we talk about, and we have made data available to you. If you don't have data to be online, just make it a date. Tuesdays, whenever I'm having session, they're educative. They provide information. These are all research work I did before I came. All what I did it on my own, right? So I don't know a few things that I have been sharing since last year. And my friends who are here currently, I mean, Ayua just left, but Emmanuel, they have experienced some of these things too, as you have heard them speak of. So I don't know how to tell you about what is fraud and what is real now, but I show some of these things the other time, how to access a website, the domain name, and all of these things. I talked very clearly about this. So I may try again to just keep teaching and teaching, but you try to be following. Try to be following. And I came to the US. Let me say something that is very impressive. The rate at which I adjusted in the US, I'm less than 2 years in America. The rate at which I acclimatized in America was very swift. People don't believe it. And sometimes they argue, I say, yes, yes. In fact, my wife, they say she was born here. I say it's true. That's what I tell them. It is because of information, talking to people, asking questions before I came. When I arrived in the US, I already knew a lot about the system. And that's why I do what I'm doing. I see people come here, they are not free, they are not secure, they struggle. It hurts me. That's why we do these sessions, to educate and inform you. I want you guys to be able to travel and live your best lives. I want you to do well. I want you to excel. And information gives power. If you don't have information, you can make mistakes and mess things up, right? So, it's important you know what you are pursuing, and don't take the information we make available here for granted. Don't take it for granted. It's very helpful in the long run. All right. Can we end the session at 3:45, please? Except there is any other crucial question. If you have a question that is burning, please unmute and ask it directly. You can bypass Sunday if that will take us a little more time. Or Sunday, do you have any other questions you think are very burning?
No, presently we don't have any other question.
Okay,
And
great. Thank you very much.
personally, I don't have question.
Thank you. You are a wonderful moderator. Thank you so much. I wish I was like you, my brother. I love your picture.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, good. Anybody else? Rosemary, do you have a question? Manuel AJ, any burning question? Rosemary, let me hear your beautiful voice. Oh, Mary Juma, you've not said a word. Any question from you? All of you, wonderful people online.
Good evening from here, sir.
Oh, how are you doing, my sister?
Very fine, sir. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Much strength, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. In fact, I missed the entire session. I just hope it will be shared, so I'll go through it. I had a meeting that closed not too long ago.
Oh.
And so I just joined, like literally just joined a few minutes ago.
I see. Got you. No problems. We are recording it, so you can watch again. And one of my mentees, Jacob Benita, you're here. Do you have a question? I saw one of my guys earlier. She has Auntie Jesper, you're here too. You have questions? We're about to end the session.
Good evening.
Yeah, God bless you.
No questions. Thank you so much.
No questions.
So, Ajuma, you are satisfied, right? Even though you came late, you watched the recording, right?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you so much.
Can we just put a word together for Emmanuel, my brother and friend, and also for Jude, who has left? Let's just say thank you to them. Thank you so much, brothers, for being on the program.
Yep. Thank you for the
Thank you so much,
opportunity.
sir.
Really appreciate.
Thank you. I wish
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
God bless you,
Thank
sir.
you
Oh,
very
thank
much.
you.
We really appreciate. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank
Appreciate
you.
the platform.
We appreciate.
Is that Joel talking? I missed that voice. Is that Joel, or was that Joel? Shoji, was that you? Okay, maybe not. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Have a great Yeah, bye. And Lawrence, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. I'll talk to you later, okay?